Well, I was a dairy farmer when I left the Navy.
Welcome to the Agricultural Report from the Southeast Asian Veterans Association. Frank and I have been having a chat this morning about the ups and downs of agricultural life and the stock and the grass growing and lack of rain and all those interesting things. And so we've decided we'll just swap the name now. We'll become the Agricultural Show, not the Southeast Asian Veterans Show. But on a more militaristic note, behind us, Frank, we have a new ship. What have we got there?
That is the Kiama, HMNZS Kiama, a Bathurst-class minesweeper. It was my home for about 3 years, just under 3 years. We had 4 of them in the Navy when I was there. Inverell, Kiama, Echuca and Storwell. They were given by the Australians in about 1951, I think it was. They put them virtually into reserve straight away when they brought them over here. Storwell was operational for a while, and then in about 768, I think it was, they recommissioned 2 of them as training ships.
All right.
And they used to take the young seamen out to sea and teach them how to get seasick. Very versatile, very shallow draft. We could go anywhere, but man, they rock and rolled.
I'm so happy to be a grunt and feet on the ground.
Well, it's funny you say that. I was talking to a chap at the funeral of that young sailor who died on his own.
Yes.
And he was ex-SAS. And he says, "Oh, I remember the days on the Inverell. You took us out to Tryphena."
Oh, yes. Great barrack.
And it's funny, I was actually on the Inverell when we took them out there.
Huh?
And left them there. I don't know how they ever got home again, but I guess they did. And he says, what a ship. Yeah.
Oh, well, anyway, on to things more important. Let me see. Frank, you've been reading the old Veterans Affairs book.
Yeah, well, we got our latest, I got mine yesterday. I don't know when everyone else gets theirs, but we're a bit later out here with the mail. And it was interesting. It was pointed out to me about the processing times of claims in VA.
All right.
And I read through the figures, and really nothing has changed. They even state here that for some types of claims, we've made progress, but we haven't yet been able to reduce processing times across the board.
Right.
And it's a fact. Most of them have gone up. Disablement pensions has actually come down, 39 less, or 37. Funeral expenses have gone up. Independence allowances have gone up. Surviving spouse partners has gone up. And so I don't know what's actually going on in Veterans Affairs. The thing I would like to find out, and I might just drop them a line in OIA and get some information on who actually works in Veterans Affairs these days. The number of head sheds they have, the people who are at the top that sit up there doing nothing, number of staff overall, and the number of staff who are actually just doing applications from veterans.
Okay, yeah.
Now, I have a case manager, you have a case manager, we all have a case manager, and I dare say a lot of us have the same case manager. So I'm interested to know those facts and figures and whether they'll let me have them.
Yeah.
It'll probably come back under commercials sensitivity or something. So just to know how many people are actually working on these figures.
When you say the figures have gone up, so what are we talking about? Those years, days, months, weeks?
That's only since December.
Yeah.
June to December 2023. So that's what, 4 months ago. So they've probably gone up further.
Oh, so that's the average number of days it takes to process the claims.
Yeah.
Wow.
324 to 361. No.
And that's quite an important one, isn't it? What is it?
Well, that's read the
Disablement
bottom
pension.
figure down the below. They say in June 2023 they had 2,702. Now they've only got 2,393. So I don't know what's happened to them all. Have they stamped them straight through the system or what?
Yeah. And how long it took
But
them to get rid of them.
An interesting thing in itself is I've been having trouble with a right ankle, and I injured it on the Royalist in 1965. Coming back from ashore, I went down a ladder, slipped, got my foot caught up in a pipe, in a breather valve from the fuel tanks, to be exact. So I got hold of my medical records. Now, I haven't really taken much notice of them. You know, there's nothing even mentioned in there about that, and that I went to the sick bay. I had my foot stitched up. Nothing, not a single thing. So I thought, well, I better take a bit more notice and read through my medical documents. And there is so much missing. Things that you know happened to you are not in there.
Not uncommon, Frank. And there has also been we're aware of a purge through the documents as well. So some information has been taken away.
Yeah.
So
if I haven't got it,
how are you finding the response? Like, are they taking your word that it's occurred, or what are you doing? What hoops are you jumping through?
Well, I haven't actually put an application into it yet. I'm only just looking at it because the old I had scans and X-rays a couple of weeks ago, and you know the first thing, arthritis, and I see that big scar there on my foot.
Yeah.
And so, you know, is it worth it? And of course, you've got no evidence. I've got no evidence. Even the bloke that helped me down has passed away.
Oh,
so,
wow.
You know, I can't even ask him.
We won't investigate your state of sobriety.
No, that could be a problem. Why they built that is like that, I'll never know.
Okay.
But anyway, that's interesting. That was interesting read, that.
Yeah.
And I actually will send an OIA on behalf of myself, so that I do actually know how many people actually work in Veterans Affairs. And I think we might be surprised to find there's very few.
Well, we'll see what happens. So the Veterans Affairs seems to be a hot topic. So I've got one or two, maybe three little notes about that. So there's a clinic in Gisborne, Tuesday the 18th and Wednesday the 19th of this month, June, a regional case management clinic. If you'd like to talk to one of the case managers face to face, this is the perfect opportunity. Appointments are limited, so you need to book, and the clinic will take place at the Gisborne Army Hall office, 341 Palmerston Road, Gisborne. And pre-booked appointments are available during, looks like we've got from 7 till 9 o'clock on Tuesday the 18th and 9 o'clock till 2 o'clock on Wednesday the 19th. So if you're in that region and you have a case manager or you have an issue you think needs some discussion, go along and have a chat. From the experience we have had with people who have come down from Wellington to Wigram Air Force Base, Air Force Museum rather, in many cases the issues have been solved before the people have showed up here, and that means they've been able to get more people through the system. So that's a plus for Veterans Affairs. And speaking of Wigram, Bernadine and and Dr. Mike O'Reilly, the clinical advisor, were present on last Friday at Wigram, and it was good to see. And a lot of people had a chance to have a few minutes face to face with one or the other. Mike O'Reilly, a lot of people found was quite positive about things, and certainly in the area of, if you've been turned down, no harm in resubmitting your claim, yada, 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 see what happens. So he was quite positive. And I think he had, from the little discussion I had with him, quite an expansive view as to issues that arise in service and issues that arise after service that are linked. If there's even the smallest indicator that it's linked to something in your service, then put it in, see what happens. Yeah, so that was quite positive, and good to have a chat with Bernadine. She's quite busy and looking at a number of things that I think she mentioned will come out to the general public area in the future. I don't know when, but yes, they've been working on some good things there, so that'll surface, and that'll be quite good. And the other one is, I just gleaned this morning off the Veterans Affairs Facebook page. Their annual satisfaction survey begins this week and will run for 4 to 5 weeks. It's a phone survey conducted by an independent research organisation called Public Voice. So if you get a phone call, if you're part of Veterans Affairs, and you get a phone call from Public Voice, it's not a hoax. It's a genuine thing. You may get a call from them. The survey takes approximately 10 to 15 minutes. So that's it's Veterans Affairs. Three good topics there for today. What else have I got here? Oh yes. Speaking of coffees at Wigram, the next meeting is Friday, the 28th of June. Which is the morning of the 2nd 1st Battalion 50th anniversary march through the streets of Christchurch, I think from Christ College to the Bridge of Remembrance. I also think that's Matariki, so there's the public holiday on that day, so that'll be quite cool. We expect to see people there. There might be a few stragglers from out of town show up and have a coffee with the regulars. That'll be nice to see you. What else have I found? Oh, yes, big shout out to a couple of Air Force blokes this time. Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Air Marshal Kevin Ronald Short, for services to New Zealand Defence Force. I see he was in the King's Honours on Monday. And also Wing Commander Mark Allen Whiteside for services to the New Zealand Defence Force, and he received the Distinguished Service Decoration. So, gentlemen, thank you for your service. Hopefully we all appreciate the fact that you've been recognised for your service. And I think they were the only two. Frank, you didn't see any others?
No. Normally they have quite a defence little category at the bottom, don't they? But
yeah, no, I saw a couple of a few from the police and FENZ, Fire and Emergency New Zealand. That was good to see our first responders being recognised for their service to the community. So there you go. Yeah.
I'm just wondering if the gongs they're issuing at the moment have now got the King's head on them, especially like the long service medals.
Yeah, well, that could well be the case, eh?
Although they've probably got a big box of them and got to get rid of them.
You're a cynic. You're a cynic. The other thing that came out of last Friday's coffee morning, and just in general conversation with some of the people there, particularly the wives, they were looking for a place to have discussions, because there seems to be, as we know, gentlemen, the wives are behind us, and things won't happen unless our wife is making it happen behind us. So we acknowledge that, and we acknowledge the value that they are to our lives. And certainly when it comes to dealing with people like Veterans Affairs and or the RSA, we all staunch ex-service people will go, oh, yeah, I don't need to do that, blah, 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 I'm okay. Yet your wife knows the real story. So they need a bit of a forum. And we do have a Facebook page, which is the Other Halves and Families of, it's called the Southeast Asian Veterans Association, Other Halves and Families, particularly for wives and families, because if the wife is going through some issue with Veterans Affairs or with the RSA, or there's health issues, or even consideration around succession planning, so wills, family trusts, enduring powers of attorney, those issues, there's bound to be someone amongst the wives who has already processed or been through that issue and can give some support and encouragement. So I hope that that works. And one of the issues that popped up last Friday was the issue of the veterans card. And one of the wives I spoke to, she had service prior to 1974 cutoff date. Her husband is a Vietnam veteran, and her card has got the word veteran on it. So I'm just, she was wondering whether that's the same with all the wives who have had service, or is it just if the husband's service was qualifying operational service somewhere? So if you know the answer, let us know in the comments underneath, and we'll see what we can find out and help the lady concerned out. Any ideas on that, Frank? Do you know whether that's the case?
I'm not too sure. I know my wife's, although she didn't serve, but well, she may as well have served, because as you were talking there about wives, and it's funny, I'm doing a talk at 10 o'clock in Otrahonga on the wives of servicemen and women.
Oh,
how I got into that, I will never know, but and I was writing down, thinking, well, what do the women do while we're away?
yeah.
And actually, you're right, they hold the fort.
Yep. Yep, that's exactly right. And certainly if you're away for any stretch, the household develops its own routine without you. The kids are doing this, the wife is, making sure the groceries are in and the kids have got clothing or they're off to school, whatever it is, and managing all that stuff. And of course you come back and you become the broken spoke in the wheel, as it were, and upset the bloody apple cart, because being military, we all like things to be in our form.
Exactly.
A very valuable.
Everything ironed to the size of your manual.
So there you go, gents. If your wife is prodding you to get an application into Veterans Affairs for a medical condition that you've got from your service, listen in, do something about it, because in many cases there are benefits for the family of you getting into the system. So if you pass away before your wife and you're in part of the system, you can get, the wife's entitled to the pension. There is ongoing, and there are other benefits as well, funeral grants and that sort of thing. So time to listen in to the wife. Turn the TV
it's all in the latest Veterans Affairs magazine.
Oh, excellent.
Everything there, even things I didn't know about.
Right. So there you go. So the magazine is valuable. And ladies, if you're listening in, get it off your husband, or if he gets it online, go online and see if you can download a copy of the latest manual. And don't forget, Siava Other Halves and Families, the place to go. Sorry, gents, you're not allowed. And the only other thing I have for today is I came across the PACT Act 2022. It's a US act, and don't ask me what PACT stands for, but there's quite interesting release of information within that relates to things like, I was talking to a chap on Friday, burn pits in Iraq. For those of you who served later on, maybe Timor as well, there are medical conditions associated with the old with the burn pits, and they're specified in the in this Pact Act. That is the conditions and the fact that they're linked to the burn pits. So if you've got some medical conditions that perhaps are not acknowledged by Veterans Affairs, and it's one of those strange conditions, I think it was under section 14 or something similar, where you have to provide some evidence. Here you go and grab the download it off the old the international web, Pact Act 2022, and it specifies the conditions that are covered specifically around burn pits, but other things as well. Recovery of nuclear waste in a couple of places around the world when the US had a couple of bombs go missing. I think one was off Spain and there was a crash somewhere in the US. So there are a number of conditions, quite informative. So get along, have a look, and see what you can find. I think that's about me. I'm about done. Frank, I think it's over to you, crossing of the bar.
All right. Well, I've got 3 today, and another classmate in amongst this lot. H18591 Perkins, David Alexander, a leading seaman, Royal New Zealand Navy, joined in 65. Crossed the bar 29th of May 2024, and in accordance with David's wishes, a private cremation has been held. However, if you have messages to David's family, they can be sent to PO Box 1014, Palmerston North. And then we have New Zealand Wren 1034, Goldsmith Nee Catlow, Josephine. Served in the Wrens 1955 to 1960. Crossed the bar 29th of May 2024. Due to family illnesses, her funeral has been held and there will be a later memorial service. Then we have 106226 King Michael Robert, Royal New Zealand Navy. Crossed the bar 15th of May 2024. And there has also been a private mass and cremation taken place. So I wish all the families and friends of those sailors our condolences.
Thank you, Frank. And the last post from the Army side of things, 580327. Now, if I've mispronounced this, I apologise. Manina Rex C, New Zealand Regiment, RNZIR, passed away in Christchurch on the 29th of May, so last Wednesday, aged 84. Rex served in Bravo Company, 2 NZ Regiment in Malaya, 5961. Served in 1 NZ Regiment, 64-66 in Malaysia, including the 65 and 66 tour to Borneo. He then served in Whiskey 2 in Vietnam from November 68 to November 69. And again, I reinforce what Frank said, our condolences to family. There is no indication of a funeral in the message that we've got or when that was. So again, if you have an issue that you think needs some help or assistance with, be that with Veterans Affairs or RSA support, post the passing of a family member, get in touch with us, or we'll get in touch with the RSA, one of the local support advisors or district support advisors, and they'll help you negotiate the processes. Frank, do you want to do the ode?
Yeah. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them, lest we forget.
Thank you, Frank, and thank you for joining us today, folks. And if you are out and about with some spare time up your sleeve and you've got a phone number, ring up your mates that you serve with, see how they are, have a coffee, have a chat, have a get together, see what issues are on the boil, and maybe drop us a line if you need help and assistance in some way, and we can see what we can sort out. Remember, 28th of June is the next coffee morning before the 150th anniversary march through the streets of Christchurch. And also, I think it was, I'll just check again, I think 18th and 19th of June Yes, that's Gisborne. So that's a case manager's face-to-face clinic taking place there. So there was no phone number, and this comes off the Veterans Affairs site. So I guess just make a phone call to their 0800 number and register your appointment. So that's it. Thank you for joining us. Have a good day. Frank, take care of the cows and the grass.
I will. And see if we got any additions yet.
Got to keep the milk flowing.
We do.
Okay, that's us for today, folks. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, and take care. We'll catch you same place, same time next week.
Yep.
Cheers.
Bye.